It's Tuesday. Thanks for joining us today. I'm meteorologist Paul Goodlow.
And I'm meteorologist Kait Parker. The summer storm is getting an early start today. Yeah, it's already started out there roaring. We're watching two areas with the risk of, we're trying to get you geared up for this risk of severe weather. Here's where it is today. From Duluth all across Minnesota, even stretching down into Sioux Falls, we'll see a bit of that. And across northern Wisconsin and even the UP of Michigan, you've got that risk of severe weather too. It's mainly going to be a risk of seeing some of the hail, the damaging winds, isolated tornado risk. That risk very, very small. But look what's happening. Whew. Here's some rain, and you can see the difference in the wind. See how the flow is out of the northwest back behind that low? It's just a little one in the upper atmosphere. This little dip in the jet stream, that's kind of what's causing this in the risk of severe weather today. Here's that upper disturbance I was just talking about. It's a minor one, but enough to just, there's so much moisture in the atmosphere, especially this time of year, Paul. You get anything going, and you see that risk in the upper Midwest of severe weather. All right, welcome back to Weather Center Live. Okay, let's take a look at what's going on with this risk of rip currents over the coming days. You know, it's Rip Current Awareness Week, and you just kind of get this broad brush sometimes of where the rip currents are, but it doesn't necessarily help you perceive the risk. They're incredibly dangerous. You don't have to go out far in the water to completely lose your balance, topple over, and it turns dangerous very quick.
And we do have actually a moderate rip current risk for some areas of Florida, as well as also North Carolina, because the constant flow of the wind pushing the water onshore. Eventually, that water has to come out. That's the rip current, and that is what we're concerned about, especially now. This is the warmer time of the year. This is when beach season is very, very active,
right,
and it's a huge concern.
A lot of people, coastal North Carolina, South Carolina, they're out there, they're enjoying the beach, they're on vacation, and getting in the water really isn't an option, right, in this situation? But how do you spot a rip current? I mean, when a red flag is out, you shouldn't go in the water, period. That's the end of the story. But if you want to look for a rip current, they're actually fairly easy to spot.
You can see, again, you see the waves here. That's the way of the water coming on shore. Eventually, the water comes out, and you see this area where there's no wave. That is the rip. So again, think about it. Water comes on, then it gets ripped back out to the ocean. If you happen to be swimming in that area, you get kind of ripped or pulled back there as well. And that is very unsettling and scary for a lot of people.
Yeah, being pulled out like that, that's a big...
From the National Weather Service office out of Wilmington, North Carolina, Stephen Kubler is joining us with the phone, joining us by the phone to talk about this. And Stephen, I was in Wrightsville Beach last month, and I know that this is really the ramp up to a very, very busy beach season out there. How concerned are you that the message is getting out there that there is a rip current danger?
Well, Paul, a family in Peoria, Illinois is counting their blessings this morning. A 15-year-old DeMarcus Jackson was swept away by fast-moving water in a creek. He was swimming with friends on Sunday when a couple inches of rain suddenly turned the creek into a dangerous torrent. The two other boys managed to escape, but DeMarcus spent the night clinging to a tree branch or a pipe before he was found on Monday morning. He suffered only from cuts, and DeMarcus told, and his mother, Latricia Sanders, spoke earlier to AMHQ about the ordeal. Okay, so the Northeast obviously pretty active, but what about the Midwest? It's another spot that, again, today we have to keep an eye on. The upper Midwest, Minnesota, Wisconsin, up into the UP of Michigan even. Lake Michigan, you're just going to see a few showers and some thunderstorms around that, but look at this. International Falls, you've got some rain right now. You can tell, look at this, the outflow from this, look how the winds... They switch around really quickly. Along this cold front, you are going to see some winds out of the northwest behind it. It is not a strong cold front. It's just basically this little blip in the jet stream. Like I was saying, you get all this warm, moist air in here out of the south, and it doesn't take much to fuel these showers and these thunderstorms that develop. So just as the low develops right at the surface, hanging out right along the U.S.-Canadian border, it's going to skirt right along the lakes, and that's where we're going to see those showers and thunderstorms develop. We could see some stronger ones later in the day. It's not really so much this morning that we're concerned about, at least in this part of the country. But Duluth, keep an eye out later on tonight when you're trying to put the kids to bed. In Green Bay, you may see some problems. And then across Michigan, actually, as you head into your early morning commute tomorrow, you might still see some of those gusty winds, possibility of some hail, tornado risk low with this. So Minneapolis today, not bad. Not a bad looking forecast. You'll be in the 70s overnight tonight. Very warm, though, if you're trying to grill out. Paul, I mean, it's going to feel rough. 89 degrees for grilling out. I think it's a little steep. You just have been baking. It's kind of, you know, it might be welcome if you're trying to get out in the early morning and it feels nice and it's not too cool. But in the afternoon, man, you're going 15 to 20 degrees above average. This is just so unusual for this time of the year, especially. Take a look at this. Spokane, 92 degrees. That's 20 degrees above average. Tomorrow, you're still going to be 90. Medford, you're going to be 91. Missoula, Montana, 88 degrees, a full 16 degrees above average. Look what happens on Thursday, 108 degrees in Redding, California. 108. Boise, you're going to be 93. Seattle, you'll still be 10 degrees above average. So slightly cooler temperatures in the forecast, but it's just ever so slightly. And then look at Redding. I mean, you're just going right back up for the end of the week, flirting with 110. 110 by the time you get to Friday, Paul.